Every time. Take your kids to see a family picture and the first image you see is someone's weird penis. Also, having Scrat sniffing the logos is basically this movie sniffing its own asshole, and that stinks. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and also this vine precariously hanging between two rock masses to facilitate Scrat's misadventures. Scrat looks around the tree to see who took the acorn and finds a lady squirrel sensually dancing to Lou Rawls on her OnlyFans. Squirrel interrupted. Scrat never learned the first rule that I have abided by since college. Never let your nut skip between you and a lady. I might have made a horrible mistake. Gone, squirrel! Okay, I'll stop. I won't. Believing that this in any way simulates parachuting. So Scrat-tay, yes, that's her name, was a flying squirrel this whole time and only waited until now to deploy the arm webbing? Or is the movie indicating this was her plan the entire time? She somehow knew he would fling her off the edge and dive after her? This was terrible planning, and squirrels are supposed to be great planners. That's like their whole thing. Also, flying squirrels use their webbing to glide short distances from tree to tree. It's not enough to save her from the gravity of this situation. She may be a few seconds behind the Scrat Splat, but she should still end up being Scrat-tay-pat-tay. Heart-shaped dust clouds are not only impossible based on the Scrat's shape, but should be reserved for only fully requited leaps of love. Manny is rushing a shell full of water to his pregnant wife because that's what woolly mammoths require during childbirth. Something had to create the chaos at the beginning of this movie, and it might as well be nonsense.
Cold blue, or pink, if it's a girl.
You know what I have to say about panchromatic gender norm stereotypes? F*** you, movie.
False alarm. It was just a kick.
Aww.
But weren't you standing right there when Ellie said this just 30 seconds ago?
That's the third false alarm this week.
Then it's kind of on you for continuing to believe the mammoth who cried birth, no? Also, can we talk for a bit about why this entire colony of prehistoric peepers is so gung-ho to come watch Ellie push a child out of her woolly mammoth?
Oh, I see someone else who has a bun in the oven.
Oh, I'm not pregnant.
They just had to make this joke, didn't they? Did dirt just get stuck on that camera lens? You know, the one that doesn't exist? You do understand that when that happens in live-action movies, it's a fourth wall reality breaker, right? Why does animation want to embrace the limitations of live action?
It's amazing.
Is it? It looks like a human child's playground. You could have made anything you wanted to make it seem like a woolly mammoth would want to play here, and you chose this. Look, I'm fine with you making something that would have the abstract what the f***ery of Gary Larson's Cow Tools cartoon in The Far Side. At least it wouldn't contain a f***ing seesaw.
I made it myself.
You most certainly did not. There was no way that Manny did all the detail work on these ice sculptures with his mammoth paws. Manny is a liar and probably has an ice cave somewhere where he holds tiny animals with opposable thumbs hostage to do this work.
Of course I can. I'm the biggest thing on Earth.
Why say thing? You didn't even want to go with being or animal? You can literally see trees bigger than you all over the place. And that's before you get to things like icebergs or clouds.
Guys don't talk to guys about guy problems.
My God, man, was this movie written by a stand-up comic Mitzi Shore threw out of the Comedy Store in 1987?
That's your adventure, not mine.
Sorry, Diego, you guys had an adventure together that made a company a lot of money, so you'll be having many more adventures together no matter how forced the pairing seems.
Mis amigos! ¿Qué pasa?
I know turtles can pull their head into their shell, but do they completely disappear? Because this shell is empty, and now I'm worried that these animals have strange powers, and I might accidentally be watching another Fantastic Beasts movie. So guys, how are they gonna stumble on the dinosaur eggs? Hey, I know, Sid looks at his reflection in a frozen pond, and the ice shatters, because he's ugly, of course, and he'll fall through the ice and it'll lead him down to the secret place underground. That's brilliant, kid! You make me proud that we secretly made Play-Doh sentient! And of course, Sid can't help but investigate these ice eggs 3, because in movies, eggs are the most mysterious and alluring objects ever, and must be touched, no matter the risk. If these eggs are as heavy for Sid as we're supposed to believe, how the f*** did he get them up this giant hill of snow? Then he has to somehow lift these things above his head and out of the hole at a height he can't possibly reach. Just substitute eggs for acorns, and now we're doing the Scrat bit all over again, without Scrat. A minute ago, these eggs were so heavy that Sid got exhausted from pushing them on the ground. Now he can apparently run with one of his hands no problem and catch up to eggs that were hundreds of feet away and building speed rolling down a hill. Wait, why the is Ellie all the way down at the bottom of this mountain? Does anything about the highly suspect geography of this movie suggest that she'd be anywhere near this place?
They're not your kids, Sid. Take them back.
Of all the movies that would miss the perfect opportunity to make a poached eggs joke, I really didn't think this would be the one.
Second sign, one of them almost became an omelet.
No, it almost became a broken egg, unless you're indicating that you were planning on taking whatever was in the egg and immediately cooking it up and folding it in with some cheese and meat. And if that's the case, what's wrong with you, sicko? Movie resorts to, and I kid you not, a cover of Walk the Dinosaur by Queen Latifah, a song we last heard in Super Mario Bros., which also starred John Leguizamo. Anyway, here's a sin because it's so goddamn goddamn blindingly obvious. You could play any Dinosaur Jr. song, and at least I'd have to take one step to figure out the connection. Oh, for sure, we'd have still sent it. Copying Sid's movements while awake is one thing. Synchronized copying of Sid's movements when in the midst of sleeping, however, seems to me to either be supremely convenient or supremely stupid, and most likely supremely both. This movie is for kids, so I should probably forgive it for all the bullshit I'm seeing. Probably.
I thought you were a female!
This movie is for kids, so I should probably forgive it for this joke about Sid accidentally jerking off a ram. Oh, wait, what the f*** am I even saying? And with no warning, we're back to When Harry Met Squirrely, because there was no way this movie was getting to 90 minutes on Sid's parenting montage alone. If you listed bubbles by their likelihood of floating, I want to assure you tar bubbles would be at the bottom of that list, just above lead bubbles and bubbles made of antimatter. Look, I haven't sinned every ridiculous way these two propelled their bubbles because I wasn't 100% sure, but one thing I do know for a fact is that blowing yourself is impossible.
The sloth says the playground's open!
Sure, it's sinful that all these kids were just hanging out here unsupervised, ready to pounce when the playground opened, but what's even more sinful is that a group of unsupervised kids would even wait for someone to give them permission. Apparently Manny and Ellie are always around when children come falling out of the sky. If your playground is destroyed after one play session, you built a terrible playground. Do better, Manny.
This place is totaled, and we didn't wreck it.
That's because the movie is having a hard enough time finding places to squeeze you in, let alone make you matter to the plot. Fans loved you in the previous movie, so you'll get your forced lines and you'll be happy about it.
Well, the important thing is that no one got hurt, except for that guy. And those three.
Who the f*** is Sid even talking about, even if this is a joke? All the animals left the playground.
I thought those guys were extinct.
You and most scientists as well. But why would you want your kids' movies to be scientifically accurate? Certainly the grade school set won't internalize bad science through animated movies, right?
Nobody move a muscle.
So is Manny Dr. Alan Grant now, except for the whole hating kids thing?
What do you want, a birth certificate?
No, but I do want to know how you even knew what a birth certificate is.
She's a dinosaur!
Whoa. So why couldn't you figure out that those were dinosaur babies earlier? For a while I thought you just didn't know what a dinosaur was, since you told Sid.
Whatever they are, wherever you found them, take them back.
Are you actually going to say because they're babies you couldn't figure that out?
Don't you have anything better to do?
Diego couldn't hear the T-Rex until it got this f***ing close to him. Also, didn't Diego take off at least a day ago? And he's still close enough to be conveniently caught up in Dinogate? More like slow Diego slow, am I right?
Talk to the trunk.
How in the world does this have the same impact as talk to the hand, which was already a tired phrase in 2009? If Ellie was standing right in front of Manny when she said this, and could get full extension on that trunk, maybe it works. But as she's walking away, and the trunk is still connected to the mouth, so I've come to the conclusion this doesn't have the same impact.
How about... Ah! The baby's coming! How's that?
Too long. We need something short and punchy, like, peaches.
Why do you even need a code word for this? Just say baby and start running in the other direction. You guys aren't doing CIA shit.
Peaches.
I love peaches.
You live in the Ice Age. You have never had a peach, you f***ing liar. Movie steals the Godzilla vs. Kong and How to Train Your Dragon in the Hidden World from Land of the Lost. Looking at this cliff where Ellie and Manny are watching the secret dinosaur world, I'm wondering what the T-Rex did when she got here with the dino babies. Did she cannonball into the water down below? Or did this place build a magic dinosaur skeleton elevator somewhere I'm just not seeing?
Yabba dabba doo!
So I guess the Flintstones are canon in this world. Does that mean the show exists, or that actual Fred Flintstone exists? And how do either of those things not break the entire universe?
Take cover!
And then, without knowing what that means, all the animals find a way to hide before the smoke bomb clears. Then, the next time we see them, they're in a completely different place around a watering hole. Why they needed to hide in another place after they got away is never explained. I mean, they could have been hiding from these Triceratops, I guess, but there's no way they knew take cover meant blend into the background.
I got tracks.
You mean after all the random we just saw, you just stumbled on the T-Rex's trail? Amazing!
She's headed for Lava Falls. That's where they care for the newborns.
Kinda makes you wonder why the eggs were found in some abandoned ice cave when the T-Rex has a whole goddamn paradise to care for them, but we had to dumb our way into this adventure somehow. Welcome to the section of every animated movie in this era where the animators were like, how can we really make the 3D super gimmicky? What can we throw at the camera today that will feel really forced in 10 years? Movie tells us that Scrat is here in the underground paradise and movie is f***ing lying! Also, with no warning, we're back to Notting Hill, and I'm starting to wonder if these movies are actually Scrat movies and it's the Ice Age stuff that's the filler. But how does the acorn always end up in the exact same place that Scrat does? That tree just pachinkoed its way down here, and the acorn just happened to follow the exact same path? Unprotected acorning. This dangerous plant said, I'll make my fruit look like an apple, so that when you grab it, I'll eat you like an asshole. I think that's how the sin goes.
I feel tingly.
Don't say that when you're pressed up against me.
We interrupt the sexual panic for a quick detour into gay panic, because humor.
Buck, Will you help us find the floppy green thing?
Thing my college girlfriend said to our threesome buddy somehow makes it into the screenplay. Dino Mom chooses to wait until now to eat the sloth, even though it's well known that sloths are the french fries of the animal world. You eat those things right away, or you don't eat them at all.
Listen, families get complicated.
Of course, here's the obligatory part where we have to ask why the dinosaur doesn't speak a language while every other creature on this fucking planet does. You might say, well, they evolved differently in some remote underground paradise, and you're probably right, and that's probably the answer, but I'd rather just be mad. These foreground creatures remind me so much of the digital insertions in the Star Wars Special Editions that I reflexively gave it a sin without even thinking about it. Now, that's probably true for about 80% of the sins we write, but my god, man, those Special Editions f***ed me up.
I knew that guy when he was a caterpillar. You know, before he came out.
Oh, I get it. That's a gay joke. But you couldn't possibly have known him while he was in his cocoon. So you had to know him before he was even in, and that f***s your joke up. But now I'm going to miss the point of the humor even further by asking, how do the other animals take this comment? They can't possibly know what the joke is, and if you take it literally, you're going to wonder why he even tacked on that comment, since the first sentence explained everything they needed to know. So look, I went a long way to send this, but no longer than they did to make this joke.
Hello?
Sure, Buck is crazy. He's talking to a rock. But he's crazy in this weird, anachronistic way I always find unsettling in movies like this. How does anyone in this world know the concept of cell phones? What I just said is verbatim what I told my 6-year-old nephew when this movie came out. I also got him grounded when I let him plan my bank heist. So, they're about to get into this ribcage gondola, and my question is, did the T-Rex take the gondola, or is there an alternate route? We know sure as the dinosaur didn't do this, so why are they taking the alternate route? Has Buck used this before? And if so, how did he travel back up? Was no one on set asking these questions when they filmed this?
Christmas, Christmas time is here.
Somehow being so old, you make Christ an anachronism.
They died laughing.
It's kind of weird that Buck didn't tell them the nature of the gas before trying to pull the ribcage car to the other side, but I guess it makes sense to reveal that to the audience at the same time as the characters.
We gotta do everything, huh?
My question is, why haven't you already tried to help? We all know you went on this adventure without much thought about what happens to the baby, so you could have helped a lot sooner than this, correct? And with no warning, we're back to how to lose an acorn in 10 days, because the movie is well aware we lost interest in the main plot about 30 minutes ago.
What are you afraid of? You're the biggest thing on Earth.
Animal, Sid. You think he's the biggest animal on Earth. Did you not hear me when I told Manny this earlier? You think I'm saying these things to just hear myself speak and also make film Twitter unreasonably angry? This scene is a visual representation of what the programmers of Elden Ring think of your character and your weapon every time they send you into a new boss fight.
Now, let me tell you about the time I used a sharpened clamshell to turn a T-Rex into a T-Rachel.
Movie is now banned in 26 states.
Wait, what about me?
Sloths are great climbers. If a T-Rex can climb this, there's no reason Sid would be stuck down here, especially considering this foliage ladder all the way up the side. And with no warning, we're back to Last Acorn in Paris, because the movie's addiction to Scrat is more powerful than its ability to tell an uninterrupted, cohesive story. Also, since they made camp, Buck told them a story of a giant predator even bigger than the T-Rex, Manny had a dream about Ellie getting attacked by 2 red eyes, and before the movie even thinks about moving the plot forward again, they have the 2 romantically entangled squirrels have a tango fight over an acorn. Literal nutshots.
The plates of woe. Or whatever's left of them.
Awesome! Can't wait until you traverse the goddammit. Remember when a Scrat appearance was an only every once in a while interlude? Now it's like every 2 minutes. I'm not going to spend a lot of time figuring out the animated physics of giant woolly mammoths balancing and surviving in an ocean of rock Jenga, but I am going to spend a lot of time on the convenience of the pregnancy, the predators finally showing interest, and this moment all happening at the same time. And by a lot of time, I mean I'm done already.
Manny! Pineapples!
Ellie, the smart one, somehow doesn't remember the code word is peaches. There's no way she forgot this shit, and the movie is being an asshole. Also, you know, if your memory is really that bad, you could just shout something like, I'm in labor, or I'm having the baby, or the miracle of life is about to tear me a new one. I promise it will do the job.
Manny, it's all right. I got your back.
I think this is supposed to be the culmination of Diego's story arc in this movie, so let's sum up. He said he was bored, he walked away, joined the party, and now he's got Manny's back. Not a lot to dig into here, but the music is swelling, so you should be feeling things, damn it.
Gotta say, sweetheart, you really got timing.
Speaking of timing, what are these discount velociraptors waiting for? She's clearly weak and down on the ground. Enjoy your mammoth meal now!
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
Even if I allow this phrase for this situation, which I won't, why didn't Sid yell this out loud when the T-Rex showed up earlier? You know, if it's such a go-to phrase in Ice Age times.
Don't worry, it's just lava.
It's not just the lava you should be worried about, considering a lava flow of this size is usually over 1500 degrees Fahrenheit and skin melts at around 175. I'd be worried about how hot this stone is that you are standing on, which should have probably reduced you to a Sid puddle by now. Also, the only type of rock that even floats on lava is pumice, and it's basically the Swiss cheese of rocks, so this non-pumice raft shouldn't even exist. What even was the plan here? There's no way he could even see the wing of a pterodactyl they eventually land on, and he even says later he's never ridden one before. I know it's a cartoon, and I know we're supposed to throw logic out the window, but I'm sorry, I'm all out of windows, and logic just keeps bouncing off the wall and punching me in the face.
I've never flown one of these before.
No! First time, actually!
I honestly don't know why we as cartoon characters ever wonder about logic when we see the illogical all the time. By definition, illogical is logical to us. Why do we ask questions with a logical base when we live in a world like this? Diego has the same problem he had at the beginning of the movie. If he runs too fast, his vision gets blurry and he's about to pass out. So, what is his solution? He growls and shakes his head a bit and just fights through it. So apparently this very real physiological condition can be cured by simply manning up. It's amazing more doctors don't prescribe this.
It's just a contraction.
No!
If only they had come up with a code word like, I don't know, something random like raptor. Man, he could have known there was a velociraptor behind him. Oh well, you live and learn. Are these bipedal clawed back-heavy creatures free soloing a sheer 90-degree rock face? Yes! Yes, they are.
Look! He's right there!
Possums, which are, of course, well known for their extremely keen eyesight, especially during the daytime, would of course see a tiny speck at a distance and realize that's their friend 1,000 feet away. Now, I know I should probably not even note something like this, considering possums are exactly like eagles or Ted Williams, but I'm really just sitting it out of respect. An amazing discovery was made back in 2009. Maybe you missed it. Pterodactyls sounded like fighter jets when they made moves in attack formation. It's amazing what you can learn from fossils. Why are there an infinite amount of these plot tensionosaurs? Is there an assembly line they're coming off of somewhere that releases them in the exact amount needed for Diego and Manny to be able to handle them? So wait, does Scrat and his lady know there's a camera here now? And why does this qualify as any more naked than they've been the entire movie? I realize this is a harmless attempt at post-coital humor, but I have questions. And questions are sins, I think. We've never really clarified that. Anyway, these squirrels f***ed. Let's pay attention to that.
I love you, bro! I know!
Look, if Scrat can crash to the ground like Wile E. Coyote at the beginning of this movie, then I have no faith that this would kill them even if something doesn't save them at the last minute. This is basically just noise. This is pretty much the airplane disappears underneath the frame but then emerges at the last second cliche, except this time with a sloth and a pterodactyl that acts like an airplane. This whole time their ride has been controlled by Buck, but how did they get full claw control to catch Sid? Did their ride just decide to join Team Ice Age all of a sudden? Oh yeah, that's another thing. They've been in this underground world this whole time with an ice ceiling above them. How the f*** is it so shiny and bright down here?
Just one more big push!
You have no idea what I'm going through.
This reverse roles moment where I guess we're supposed to think Diego is in labor is dumb enough, but why would he ever say that? She's literally right there watching exactly what you're going through. This is something a woman in labor might say to a man because her experience is internal and personal. To have Diego say it here is sacrificing scene credibility for a lame attempt at humor. Aw, even in the animal world, babies are born completely calm and clean and dry and adorable. I'd hate for people to think that birth resulted in the traumatic expulsion of a shriveled goo crevice squint squealer.
I got a better name. Peaches.
Peaches?
No lie, they say peaches more in this movie than they do in that Presidents of the United States of America song.
Oh, it's a boy!
That's its tail.
Man, milking that ram really did a number on Sid. This final part of the She's All Scrat story is annoying not only because apparently love cured their need for actual food, but because it's now insinuating the acorn is feeling lonely and wants to be hunted. I guess I'm saying I won't mourn a corny acorn scorned and forlorn when the trope is so shoehorned and worn. This is like the fourth inanimate thing to shape itself into a heart during this movie. First there was the puff of smoke that Scrat produced after his fall, then there was the lava pit and the rock formation, now there's this cloud, and later it'll be f***ing dinosaurs making a heart shape. This overuse of obvious imagery would embarrass the Pink Floyd The Wall movie if it were alive today.
Hello, Rudy.
This movie was going through its whole end of the movie spiel. The baby's born, they named it, lessons were learned, Scrat and Scrat-A had a romantic adventure, an acorn went through a crisis, and after all that cool down, I'm ready to go, and this f***ing movie says, not yet. If he has to break the entry to get out, how the f*** did he get in?
Looking for something?
I highly doubt he's been looking for his missing tooth, but this works.
Wuss.
I mean, what a dick move by Diego here. Yeah, this dino tried to kill his friends earlier, but it's not because he's evil or some shit. Dinosaurs are hungry and need food too. Diego f***ing ran away scared from this very dino earlier. And what are we supposed to think about Diego trying to kill that innocent deer at the beginning of the movie? This is supposed to be some sort of hilarious clapback to the evil dino, but I see right through you, animated movie for kids. Diego can apparently jump the height of this large dinosaur to save Sid at the last second. This final battle, Empire Strikes Back so hard, I half expect someone to use one of those dead raptor creatures as a sleeping bag after it's over. If Sid can break the vine just by tripping over it, then this never could have subdued the evil dinosaur in the first place. Deus Rex Machina. Also, a movie where T-Rex saves everybody from the bigger, badder dinosaur does not contain a Bryce Dallas Howard running in heels.
What am I supposed to do now?
That's easy. Come with us.
We will cash grab at least 3 more movies we can force you into. And if you stick around long enough, we will even give you your own direct-to-streaming sequel and cut the entire company originally responsible for the franchise completely out of the process.
He's alive.
I never got the sense Buck's purpose was to carry on a rivalry with the great white dinosaur, but at the end of this movie, that's exactly what it's telling us. They tried to stick some Moby Dick allusions into the story, but it was never portrayed as an obsession. I'm beginning to think this scene where Buck realizes the dinosaur's alive is all so they could pad the runtime some more, and they got tired of the scrap romance novel just like we did. Buck nearly kills his new friends just because he wants to swing on some vines to get back to the underground place. This movie literally could have taken only 30 minutes to tell its story.
Welcome to the Ice Age.
You don't know what it's called? And oh, by the way, roll freeze-its. Honestly, if a whole bunch of heart shapes don't show up in nature while Buck rides Rudy, this movie has failed. What a surprise! Scrat does a lot of manual labor for a demanding wife, and the honeymoon phase is over. I've never seen that before. I guess the kids watching this haven't seen it before, but I have. I count 2. Why is she so angry about this? Isn't the acorn food? Has he truly been trying to the acorn this whole time? Why is jealousy not stretching before attempting the inverted reverse cow squirrel position? Scrat gloats and Scratte shakes her fist in the air at him, but he's like way far up, like miles. He couldn't possibly see him up there, and he couldn't possibly see her. So go yourself with this interaction, movie.
Mommy's very angry.
Go find some adventure, Mr. Adventure Guy.
Well, the jerk store called. They're running out of you.
Come, Sarah. 3 horns never play with long necks.
The name's Buck.
My name is Bugs, and I'm here to
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Not the mama, not the mama, not the mama.
It's dangerous by day.
But it's even worse at night.
And they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I lost him in the swamps of sadness. His name was a trio.
Cast it into the fire! Destroy it! It's the wind. It's speaking to us.
There are others out here, like you, aren't there? That's what the whispers are? Yeah, we're the ones who can't move on.
Wait! It's locked down!
We have a piper down. I repeat, a piper is down.
Hello, Rudy.
We're not gonna make it! You are!